This weekend we saw arguably the biggest power shift in history, and I know there'll be those watching today who are upset by the result. I know there are some at Cultaholic who are disgusted by the results, but I for one welcome Owen as our brand new Cultaholic heavyweight champion. Hail to the Chief! Here is your wrestling news. A Smackdown star has challenged an AEW star. Jake the Snake Roberts is suffering from major health issues, and a WWE star was backstage at AEW Full Gear. We'll talk about it in a bit. Good times were had by all at AEW Full Gear on Saturday night. Top to bottom, some really strong matches from All Elite Wrestling, and lots of talking points from that, lots of praise heaped upon certain wrestlers, lots of love for Serena Deeb, who was on the buy-in defending the NWA Women's World Championship against Allison Kay. Now, Deeb has been signed to AEW now, and she's also part of the NWA mix-up as well, and they put on a great match for the buy-in, and it's turned a lot of heads. Shazza McKenzie tweeted out, "It's Serena Deeb is my top dream match right now. When the world opens, I'm going to make it happen." Shazza McKenzie's tweet was responded to by SmackDown star Bayley, who said, "I'm first." Bayley putting her flag in the ground, in the mast, to say, "I want a match with Serena Deeb." Funny because Deeb was part of WWE up until April. She was let go from the company during the layoffs, and she made a point to get back on the map of professional wrestling, and boy has she done that. She's just been a stellar performer since getting back into the ring, immediately recognized by AEW and signed up to them. So it's funny how stepping away from WWE, we're seeing stars like Bayley within WWE saying, "Oh, I want a match with you now," when really, if they'd got their head in the right place, they could have been having dream matches ages ago. We also saw Jake the Snake Roberts and Lance Archer as part of AEW Full Gear. We saw a short but powerful video with Lance Archer looking for more victims. You may have noticed Jake Roberts' role in that video was quite limited. He spoke for about 15 seconds and then stepped away. Well, there is some reason to that. Jake Roberts was on the Nothing Beats Experience podcast, and he revealed that he's been suffering from chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. And he says that it's going to cause some issues going forward with him. He was recently hospitalized, and a lot of people said that they believed it was because of COVID-19. And Jake Roberts actually said he wishes that it was. He says, "What I've got is worse than COVID. It's something that was passed down to me through the bloodlines, hereditary. It's issues with COPD. Of course, me being ignorant, I smoke cigarettes. If you don't ever do anything in your life, don't smoke, you'll live happier. I don't get the right amount of oxygen into my blood, and that's not good. I don't know how much it's going to limit me in my future. We're testing it today for the first time to try and go do something. I know that without the oxygen, if I talk for about 20 seconds, I'm done. I can't go anymore. It's just not there. So this is going to be something that I'm going to have to work with." Jake also went on to say that he's really happy with the way AEW are looking after him and others. He says, "The thing I'm happiest about is that I'm in AEW and they actually give a damn. They actually care about the athletes. They actually set up protocols so us dumbass wrestlers don't say, 'Hey, I'm okay, I can get in there and have one arm missing.' These guys are smart enough to protect us from ourselves." Lots of love to Jake, or from Jake to AEW. And we send best wishes to Jake Roberts. It's devastating news. A guy who is so good on the microphone. That when he came back, when he debuted for AEW, he cut that promo that just put everyone on notice. So the idea of having this amazing guy on the mic struggling to speak is heartbreaking. So we send our love to Jake the Snake Roberts this morning. Alberto El Patron has told TMZ that he's looking to sue Paige. This follows on from Paige's comments on the Grown Ass Women podcast, where she talks about abuse that she says she suffered at the hands of Alberto El Patron. She describes it as consistent and calculated. Now, Patron responded to those comments to TMZ, and he said it was the other way around. I have the evidence, not just words. He then told TMZ he's considering legal action for defamation of character. When we know more about this, we'll let you know more too at cultaholic.com. Let's gear shift to some trademark news. Thanks to Heel by Nature for this. WWE have looked to trademark 6 former WCW titles. Some of these are a bit suspicious of timing. We'll talk about them when we get to them. So WCW trademarks include Slamboree, The Match Beyond, Bunkhouse Stampede, Battle Bowl, Super Brawl, and Bash at the Beach. Now AEW have used Bash at the Beach recently on their TV shows. They've also referenced The Match Beyond when they were talking about their iteration of War Games that was going to go down before the COVID-19 pandemic took hold. Bunkhouse Stampede's an interesting one because it was just this weekend that QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes threw down the challenge to the Butcher and the Blade for a Bunkhouse Stampede match. That's happening this Wednesday on Dynamite. I'm sure the timing is merely coincidental, but I think it's interesting how WWE say, oh no, we want that term for stuff. Can't have it. Just as AEW are about to pull it out of the dust. And finally, a WWE star was backstage at AEW Full Gear 2020. What? Don't panic, nothing bad's going to happen. So we didn't want to put this in the title because that'd be a bit silly, because the person backstage was Cedric Alexander. So Cedric Alexander was there along with Big Swole. You actually see Cedric chatting away to Will Hobbs on her Instagram feed whilst Big Swole is doing the video. Swole and Cedric are married, so Cedric, having the weekend off, wanted to go to Full Gear to support his wife. So that's why he was there. So if you hear any rumours or suggestions of Cedric Alexander joining AEW, I doubt that's happening. He's onto a good thing with the Hurt Business right now. I doubt he put that into any bother. There was some issues that came from back at Double or Nothing with WWE guys backstage there. More so that a few people have said that that may have been where there was a COVID outbreak. There's some rumour and innuendo that suggests that it stems from there, but that's neither here nor there. And it's just interesting when you see these WWE guys backstage at AEW. The rumour mills go a little bit wild. But Cedric's there supporting his wife. And that's a lovely thing. Good times were had by all. Editor Andrew is on our Twitch feed today. Later on today, actually at 6 o'clock, he's going to be playing some classic PlayStation games. And if you're lucky, he'll moisturise his head for you. When you don't know what that means, that sounds really weird, doesn't it? But I'm going to let it hang in the air. I'm just going to let you visualize that in your mind's eye. You're very, very welcome. Have a great Monday. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.